back again. Episode number 4.
Alright, troops.
Who have we got joining us today?
Yo, what up, guys? It's Kaleva here. Big Papi Chulo.
Big Papi Chulo.
Nice, Kaleva. What are you saying, guys?
Brandon checking in. I thought it was you again next.
Who we got?
It's E-Wills.
E-Wills making his third appearance. The hat-trick hero, 3 in a row, yeah? Here we are. Episode number 4. We're joining you on a very, very nice day in London, actually. For once, we actually have some fucking sunlight in this goddamn country. Man's got the sunnies on, although we're in the shade. You know how we do. Fabo's in the shade and he can't even see. Okay, cool. Back to topic, yeah? What I want to start with today, yeah? I briefly touched on it in the last episode that we did with me, Elijah and Selly, talking about friendships, and I thought it's a subject that we should probably delve a little bit deeper into and discuss on the podcast again. And I thought, who better to do it with than my 3 closest friends, family members in my life. So what I thought, let's talk about friendship, give a few tips, our opinions on friendships in this day and age, because I think there's a lot of fickle friendships out there at the moment, and I think light needs to be brought to the table per se in the topic. So what are your thoughts on friendships, and what do you think makes up a good friendship?
That's a big question.
It's a big question, but it needs to be addressed, man.
So I would channel it a little bit and say 3 key components to a good friendship. Everyone give their 3 keys.
Okay, go ahead then.
Well, I ain't starting.
Oh, what? How are you gonna try?
I need a minute to think on
Man try to come on the moderator thing, yeah, and he's not even starting, fam.
Alright, cool. Honesty, reliability, and I'll go pretty vague and say commitment. That'll be my 3. Honesty, reliability, commitment. I guess commitment and reliability are very similar in some of it. You can kind of throw reliability into commitment if you want to be funny with it. They were pretty rushed, but that'll be my first 3.
What do you think, Eli?
Yeah, definitely honesty. I mean, I guess we can dive a bit deeper into honesty as well, because it's not just necessarily like there's levels to honesty, right? Not like, oh, we're going out and I'm saying, like, mate, like the shirt you're wearing is a mess. You know what I mean? As a friend, I'm just telling you, like, there's that, but then there's some real deep, like, I would say, I don't want to say, for lack of a better word, advice. If you want to give honest advice, or if you want to give honest feedback, or even honest critique, I think all of us, like, we all give each other good advice. We all critique each other fairly, and we are pretty honest with each other for the most part, I would say. Like, if someone's doing something wrong, I don't think there's anyone here that will not tell anyone here that, look, mate, like, I think that's wrong, even if it's their own opinion. And then just let it be known. I mean, I think as us 4, like, we've agreed to disagree on many occasions, but it hasn't messed up the relationship between us. If anything's made it stronger going forward, and, you know, as it progresses, I guess.
Yeah. What I would say, my personal opinion, I think one of the major key components, to having good friendships is having value-based friendships. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll put it straight. I use all of you, man. You know what I'm saying? For what you can give me, I'll use you.
That's all a friendship is. That's all any relationship is.
Do you know what I mean? And, like, I want you to use me for what I can bring to the table. Do you get what I'm saying? I think a lot of people are just friends for I guess they're getting something out of it. Do you know what I mean?
I've known you for 8 years.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's one of the key lines. I've known her for years. Do you know what I mean? She's my best mate. No, she's not, mate.
We chat shit about each other every day.
Exactly, but we won't. Brandon, boy, I can hear the resentment in that. I can hear the resentment.
Anyway. Moving on.
But it's true though. Like, what are you getting out of your friendships? That's a question I would ask you. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you using your friends, like, and are they using you? Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to be each other's support system in a way, and they say like your network is your net worth. I believe in that a lot. And they also say you're a product of the 5 people that are around you, or the 5
That you
closest
spend
people
the
that,
most time with.
yeah, that you spend the most time with. So I believe in both of those two things, and I think one of the key components to having good friendships is seeing how you can provide as much value as possible to your friends, and seeing what they, or like, and obviously, yeah, it needs to be equaled out as well. So they need to provide you as much value as they can, and that will ensure that you have a good friendship together. Without that element, I don't really classify it myself as a friendship. Do you know what I mean? And I guess some people will argue, well, look, if I use her as a shoulder to cry on, or him as a guy to just fucking chill and get drunk with on weekends, you're getting value out of it. You are, but how fickle is that friendship? Do you know what I mean? Are you only friends because you go clubbing? Is that the value that you provide to each other? Or are they helping you build your empire, help you amass more wealth, help you with sort of difficult situations, shit like that?
And go clubbing with you.
And go clubbing with you as well. Do you know what I mean? As a bonus. That should be a byproduct of the friendship. It shouldn't be the actual,
Friendship.
yeah, the value that's provided within the friendship. So that's one thing I would say. Obviously, I know you asked for free, but I'll give you one big one.
Same.
Slightly like
Yeah.
Same.
What do you think, Special K?
Boy, I don't know, man. In terms of friendships, I think like there's like my personal experience with friendships, and what I found is that like it's good to have like friendships as a mixed bag of things. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people like have like just one type of friend, if you know what I mean, or friends from like a similar place, innit? Like just one friendship group. But I've always had the like view that it's good to like have a mixture of friends, innit? Obviously, like what you're getting out of it is the kind of key philosophy behind that. Because if you have just a set group of friends all from the same place, then they're only going to be able what they have to offer is limited. So it's important to spread your wings and like make friends with people from completely different backgrounds and cultures to you, and that will help you grow as a person as well. Do you know what I mean?
So what would you say your tip would be? Probably just
To expand your friendship group and your prejudices. Do you know what I mean, against people, innit? And be a bit more open-minded to things, innit? Because that's the only way you're gonna grow.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think another thing to add to all of this friendship discussion that will tie into another subject I wanted to talk about, you all need to be on the same wavelength. Do you know what I mean? I think that's that's a key to friendship. Like, you need to be friends with people that are sort of on the same vibe as you. So if you're somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, be financially independent, be successful, you need to look around you and see, are the people around you on that same wave? Do you know what I mean? Because I think you can get dragged down by people who are not on the same wave. So imagine if you're literally on like building your empire, making wealth, getting out of the 9-to-5 rat race, doing loads of stuff, but all your friends are on is just bunning weed, fucking like not doing anything with their life, then that's going to have an effect on you.
Disclaimer, we do smoke, innit? Bunning weed doesn't mean you're not doing anything with your life, because people are going to get butthurt, fam. There's going to be bad keyboard warriors there, like, just because you smoke weed doesn't mean your life's shit. Just had to throw that out there.
I got the rules on me now. Anyway, yeah. Adding on from that, yeah, I think with another thing, and this is where it ties in, a lot of friendships are sort of based around stunting as well. Do you know what I mean? This is something that I thought, and I have to bring up whilst I have Mr. Williams in the car, yeah, after a week or two of listening to Terminator's album. Because I think, yeah, if your boy, yeah, is buying the BM, yeah, on the finance that he can't really afford, but he's just stretching himself, yeah, you know it's killing him, yeah, and he's looking all fresh in the whip, you're going to think, maybe, you know what, yeah, why don't I join on as well? You get what I'm saying? That could rub off on you as well. Same way your friend who's a bum, who's not doing anything in his life, that could have an effect on you. Same way well, stunting can as well. So I guess topic number 2, yeah, I want to discuss stunting. And I guess there's only one place and direction to go to kick off the topic. Mr. Williams.
No, like, you see, stunting, it's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. And, like, so just a backstory. Obviously, I listened to Terminator. I listened to his album. Like, both of them. And regardless whether you know who he is or who he isn't, like, a lot of people, like, don't like him. Like, they say, oh yeah, he's a rubbish rapper, but they actually haven't listened to his actual message. I think it's pretty deep, and he's probably one of the only people in the UK scene that's actually chatting some sense. So, like, going out stunting and buying things and trying to live the lavish lifestyle, but you can't even put £20 on your electric or something, you know, or your fridge is empty, you know, or there's mold on your bathroom taps. See, stuff like this, shocking. But what it is that there's no, like, I think we've all been there at one point. We've all been there, just as human beings. We've all been on the thing of, cool, let's just buy this thing, whether it was some jewelry, a watch, crepe.
Why do you think people do it though? That's the thing I don't get.
It's just. I mean, for lack of a better term, I mean, obviously, like, everyone wants to look good. Don't get me wrong. Like, you do want nice clothes. You don't want to be dressing bummy. But
of course, yeah.
At the same time, look, you can buy the £500 Giuseppe's, but at the same time, I mean, where is the priority? You know. That's just the way that it needs to go. Of course, as well, there's some self-validation as well with it. You know, like, you want to get some real high-ticket price item. Yeah, if you want to treat yourself, say you've done something or you've made some money somewhere, you've invested, you've made some money, and you just want to spend a little bit to celebrate, then by all means. But his whole message, which is what I've been taking on, is that, look, if you haven't got some real investments, there really isn't any point in buying the stuff, you know. And it's kind of similar to what me and you, Carter, were talking about earlier, not earlier, but maybe a week or two ago, when it came to like buying big assets, you know. But have you concentrated on your income stream before you make a big purchase on something? So if you're gonna buy your car, if you're gonna buy the car, you're gonna spend 30, or you're gonna spend 40, 50, finance it, or even buy it outright, or whatever. You can do that if you're making income that can sustain it. But if there's no income that can sustain it, then that purchase needs to be held off or not be done at all. And it's something that, I mean, I'm still learning, and I guess everyone's still learning it. But I mean, it's something that I believe that has to be learned.
Yeah. On that conversation, we were talking about that in regards to buying houses, especially. So a lot of people, they think the way to financial independence is, cool, let me go to my 9 to 5 every day, save up my money until I've got 20, 30 grand, put a deposit down on a flat, rent it out. That is not how you get financially independent. You're literally going to go buy the flat, Monday, you'll go back to work, fam, to pay off the mortgage. Do you know what I mean? So what I was saying, why don't you take that 20, 30,000 and find a way to actually generate income from it in the beginning in order to then get financially independent, cover your expenses, and then you can leave the game. And once you're out of the game, that's when you can focus on buying the house and stuff like that. But if you're still in the 9 to 5 rat race, it makes no sense to buy a flat and tie up all that equity. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion. Do you know what I mean? You can do what you want to do. However, if you want to live a financially independent life in the modern day, I think it's sound advice, personally. What do you think anyway, Brandon, of stunting? Why do you think people do it? Yeah, why do you think people do it? And do you think it has any benefits?
No, the majority of the time it stems from insecurity.
You think?
Yeah, because you buy a nice car, You look like a bigger man.
I think it's about females, you know, personally.
Yeah,
That's the main element.
Yeah, that plays a huge part. It kind of goes back to that little ASAP Rocky interview, that 3-minute interview that he did about how like the reality is, as a man, everything you do from the moment you wake up, you do it for women. If you're a straight man, that is. Why'd you go to work? Why'd you make money? Why'd you wash yourself? Why'd you smell good? The reality is, it's on a genetic level, it's because of women, fam. If you don't smell good, you don't whatever. If you're not clean, no woman's gonna want you. Therefore, you can't reproduce. At the end of the day, we're all animals. We're just out here to survive and make little versions of ourselves so that our race can continue to survive. So yeah, like that is a huge part of it. But then the reason why I say insecurity is because like more time guys will feel like they can't get the girl if they don't have the car. So like somewhere inside themselves, they don't believe that their game is tight enough, or that they just have enough value within themselves to attain beautiful women without material things. So yeah, I look at it as insecurity more than anything.
What do you think, Kaleva?
You lot have pretty much covered everything, if I'm honest, man. Like, when it comes to stunting, it is all of the above. Like, man, them just trying to get women, like, just flexing it, do you know what I'm saying? Like, live larger than what their life actually is. Do you know what I mean?
Living the champagne lifestyle on the lemonade budget.
Yeah, you can't be doing that, man.
I don't get it twisted. Like, if you
Man says you can't be doing that.
It's not the one, bruv. You know what I'm saying?
What were you going to say,
I was
Brandon?
just gonna say, don't get it twisted. Like, if you can buy the whip like 10 times, but buy the whip.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you've got something that's generating income, then of course, by all means, buy it.
Or if you have passive income that can pay for your finance monthly,
By all means.
do your thing.
By all
Because then
means.
you're still financially free, right? You can still be financially free even with that debt on your name, because your passive income is paying it off. Anyway, that's a different topic. The point being, like, you can stunt, innit? But like, there's certain levels you need to attain before you stunt. Like, you should be doing everything. You should 10x everything. So if I'm seeing a man pull up in a Rolls, I'm expecting him to have at least 2 mil cash in his bank. That's excluding assets, fam. Because why are you driving a Rolls otherwise? You make sense?
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
What would like, if you, fine, let's say, let's just envision this, man's walking into the BMW dealership to buy the new 4 Series, He's working at a builder's merchant, let's say, earning, for example, let's say 2 bags a month after tax, and he's thinking, you know what, I've saved up 4 bags, I'm gonna get me a nice BMW 4 Series 19 fresh out the oven, If you could grab him by the neck and give him one piece of advice, what would you say to him, Eli?
XRP.
Not even that. I mean, I'll probably say, look, like, it's up to him. If he already has a car, I would just say, look, if you've been good enough to save yourself £4,000, which is fantastic, and you really want to spend it on the car, just say, look, like, there's no way around it. He's going to spend it. He's going to spend the money, okay? It's easy to say to someone, look, invest and so on and so forth. That's not as easy as it is, because, like, what do you invest in, right? I mean, if there was just one, of course you can invest in 100 different things, right? I would just say, look, if you really want to spend the money on the car, instead of financing it and just putting yourself in a hole and you're trapped, you might as well just buy a car outright with the 4K. At least the car is yours after that. You have a job. The job is not guaranteed. I mean, you should know that already. Like, you got a 4-year contract. There's no guarantee you're going to be there in 4 years, whatsoever, regardless of what you may think. So you don't want to trap yourself, because if whatever happens, you need to leave your job, or you lose your job, or something happens, you're still going to have to make those payments. You've trapped yourself for the car. But if you paid for it outright, you don't have to trap yourself. So I'll just say, look, why not, instead of spending the money on the 4 Series, why not just buy a car for 4K, and just keep it easy and keep it pushing, I don't know what you guys think.
What do you think, Brandon?
What would I say to him?
Yeah.
I'd ask him the question, like, what do you want to do with your life? Because that's where it starts for me. Because if the guy's happy at the fucking builder's merchant earning 2 bags a month, and he's willing to be his boss's bitch for the rest of his life, then by all means, like, go and finance the whip. But best believe, if the boss sticks it on you, you're just gonna have to sit there and take it and hold your job and hold that. If you want to make something more of your life and be financially independent and not ever have to worry about money, then I would say if you've got a whip, invest that in yourself. Invest it into yourself. Find out how to get one step closer. It's not about how to get financially independent. It's not going to happen overnight, but how to get one step closer to that financial independence. Like, for example, do the Astro course, 2.5 bags. Boom. You're one step closer. You're nowhere near, but you're one step closer.
What do you think, Kaleva?
Wait. So just touch on what Brandon just said as well, is that in my experience as well, in the many jobs I've had over the years, is that I've realised that when people, for especially with financing cars, as soon as someone finances a car, in my experience, right, the manager seems to put more pressure on that person.
What?
Because
Just
they know, okay, cool, everybody knows, okay, you've just brought a brand new fresh car. You are paying this car for 4 years. I can stick it on you now, because I know you need to make those payments.
Has that happened to you?
So true.
Did that happen to you?
No, it hasn't happened to me. It hasn't happened to me, but I've seen it happen. I've seen it with my own eyes. Like when people, Kaleva will agree with me, when we used to work together. When people finance their whip, the management, for whatever, I mean, it was obvious looking back on it now, but as soon as that person came into the car park and parked their car, and it was a 16 plate or whatever it was, they're like, okay, cool, 5-year payments. Maybe the guy paying about 350.
Do you think this guy's actually thinking this though?
100%. 100%. They're like, okay, cool. I know you need to make the payments now. I know you need to make those 350 payments. So I need you to do that work.
That's a dickhead thing still.
So I need you to do that
I don't know
work
if I
by
believe
6
that, you know. Personally.
I think it could be something different, but it definitely has something to do with the whip. You know what I mean? Because when a certain man would get a whip, like where me and Eli used to work like together, like I don't know why, but the management would just like they would do shit like that to the guy. But I like my theory behind it is like if it was a better whip than them, then they're like,
it was even worse.
They're like how's this guy beneath me driving a better whip than me? Fuck it, I'm gonna stick it on him. Do you know what I mean? Like 100%. Shit like that. But either way, like you're flexing above your level anyway. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like your manager should be driving a better whip than you. Like if you're at that level where you have a manager, do you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to be driving a nice whip, then obviously you need to find financial independence. Do you know what I mean? So if you're just a local man in the game, don't be like living above your station. Do you know what I'm saying? That's it. That's the reality. Like live within your means, innit? Like that is the philosophy. Like you have to stick by it because, that's what I'll tell man if I see man. That was the question, innit? Like if I see man, I'll just look at him and say, live within your means, bruv. Like can you buy this whole whip, like? What 3 times over, 10 times over? No, you can't. You can't even afford half of the whip. Do you know what I'm saying? You're putting 4K into a 30-40 bag whip. Like that's a crisis, bruv. That's a crisis. I'll tell man, go on YouTube and find some.
What's his name?
Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Fam, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, look up Dave Ramsey innit. That's what I gotta say.
Man,
bro.
look up Dave Ramsey. Shout out Dave Ramsey, innit? Yeah.
Dave
My
Ramsey
G, bro.
Dave Ramsey is the goat.
The debt snowball fan. He'll teach you about life, bruv.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Also touching on that as well, in places of work, like where me and Carter used to work.
Oh Lord.
So the owner of the company, multi-millionaire guy, but everybody, myself included, had a better car than him. This guy had some, I don't even know what brand it was, and I'm surprised he even made it into the building every day. I was shocked because this car was falling apart. But everybody had a better car than him. So I remember like me and Carter were outside and like we saw his car, whatever, and I was like, mate, everybody has a better car than the owner of the company. And the owner of the company is minted. What is that saying about everybody? Because like what a Terminator would say is that yes, like your outside is looking expensive, but your interior is a myth. So where your car is brand new fresh, but the house you're driving up to drive that car into is looking a shambles. However, the rich millionaire guy is driving a banged out car, so he's looking he's looking bummy on the outside, but he's pulling up to the like 7-bedroom, 9-bathroom mansion, you know,
on a prestigious road.
yeah, on a road that if you was to walk down, you could get arrested. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those ones, you know. Like, Fed will have to ask you, like, what is your business on the road? Like, it's one of them ones, like.
It's true.
Like, man will like Fed will just roll up and be like, well, what is your business here? You know what I mean? You can't just roll up there for no reasons. But I just say that to say that the exterior is looking better than the interior. Now, look, we've all been there. Like, if you had a choice, 5-bedroom house, whatever, 3 bathrooms, driveway, garage, huge garden, or the brand new Ferrari, what are you going to choose? You have a choice. Paid for, 5-bedroom house.
Depends what condition the house is in, fam.
No, like what? Like a brand new house.
Oh, if it's what, new build, yeah?
A brand new 5-bedroom house in your area, or a brand new 19-plate Ferrari, or whatever is the one.
Dumb question. Like,
No,
it's
but
a
like,
good
no,
question.
but as if this- yeah.
I mean, it's a good question, but like, it's dumb in the sense that there's only one answer.
No, but
to
guys
it.
are choosing the car, right? Guys are choosing the car because that same money that you're using to pay for the car,
But
you could just go and put it. It's some mortgage money. It's even more than mortgage money most of the time.
I hear what you're saying, but like an entry level yard, you're looking at what, 50k for the deposit,
Okay, cool.
and an entry level new whip, you're looking at like 5k for it.
but the car itself is costing 30, maybe 40 bags. Now I know that you can do the off payments. I don't really know how the finance works, but you can do the off payments. But you've committed to that price, you know. And not only
you're talking from that perspective.
yeah. So when you're paying for the car, even if you don't pay the big down payment at the end of the contract, you're going to renew it. Like, you're going to upgrade. So over the long run, the money just going. Like, we're talking real mortgage money.
Yeah, that ties into something else actually, yeah. Obviously, I wanted to chat to you or ask you about this one, Brandon, yeah? Like, what are you, like, how, you're the king of living on, like, having low expenses, do you know what I mean, and living within your means. So, like, how have you managed to keep your expenditure so low, do you know what I mean? Has it been difficult?
I ain't got a whip.
But what else have you done though? It must not be that simple, because even me, I'm guilty. Like, maybe, like, I know there's food at home that my mum's cooked. You know what I mean? Maybe it's some bolognese thing. I ain't feeling that, innit? I'm like, let me get a panda berry or something, yeah. Instead, for no reason. Do you know what I mean? So, like, how have you managed to stove off the temptation and keep your expenses so low? Do you get what I'm saying? To live the life that you're living.
I just do it. Like, that's a weird question. I never thought I'd be faced with that question. Well, you ain't got a choice, really. Like, once you do it, you kind of realize how valuable it is.
That's the thing though, you do have a choice. The other choice is you back out the credit cards, and you just, well, not even a credit card, you just blow all your money away. You piss your money away on stuff that's not
but
important.
then you do that and then like next week you're fucked, man. I ain't living for...
But when did you make that change then? To say, look, I ain't gonna fucking spend my money on dumb shit.
When I decided that I didn't want to work anymore. Like, I had no choice. That was when I was balls deep into Lewis Mocker. Shout out Lewis Mocker, check him out.
Shut him.
I was balls deep into what Lewis was talking about and what Lewis was teaching. So I made sure I set myself up for 18 months before going self-employed. Made sure I had 18 months worth of expenditure just in the bank, just liquid, and used that as a platform to then just go. And then each month I made sure that in any way possible I chipped away at my expenditure, whether that meant getting one less takeaway or just gritting my teeth and eating that meal that I didn't want to eat when I could have ordered a pizza or something like that. Like, I don't need that pizza. And that's, I don't know, man. Like, I think it was that first couple months when I was like, raw, only like £150, £250 has left my bank account. Obviously excluding what I pay my mum. Only that has left my bank account. I was like, oh my days, this is amazing. Because that was going from having expenses of like over a bag.
You know how we do the half an hour intermission. We're back online. Where were we?
Yeah, that first month where I saw something as little. I think the first month I managed to like slice it down to like 140 something. That came out of my bank. I was like, oh my god, like this is ridiculous. Like, I didn't think that was possible. I honestly didn't think that was possible. Yeah, just literally just made it happen. It was a lot of it was out of necessity though, because it was like obviously it was the chain of events, getting fired from the gym and then working for my uncle and then leaving my uncle to go and work for Astro, then Astro falling through. I was like, fuck this shit, man. Like, I can only really rely on myself and I know what I want to do, and this is the only way I can do it. This is the only way I can do it at the very beginning. So yeah, it just kind of made it happen for me.
It's tough.
Yeah, like it's
tough, man.
Not for 1 minute would I ever say it's easy, because it's so tempting to just spend money. But at the same time, I prefer not having a fucking boss.
Yeah.
And not having to wake up when I want to wake up. It's worth it. Like it's not easy, but it's worth it. It's worth, and you learn a lot, man. Like initially, the whole self-employed thing was so difficult. I used to talk to you about it all the time. Time management, juggling my time. Like it, with all that power comes great responsibility. Like it's cliche, but it's true, because it's so easy to just like, I caught myself having moments where I would just be at home doing nothing all day. Like I'd just be chilling. Sometimes I'd play box and just get caught in traps that you shouldn't be getting caught in, because you have so much time, because you ain't got that 9 to 5 to keep you in check.
Yeah.
Like you learn a lot. But yeah, man, the expenses. You realise how many stupid expenses you have as well. Like I talk to, like, there's a couple of mates that I'll talk to. Obviously, I don't want to name names on here, but there's a few people that I'll talk to, and they'll be telling me their expenses like 2 bags, 3 bags a month.
On what?
I'm like, on what, fam? Obviously, both the people I have in mind, they drive decent cars, etc., etc. But it's like if you actually tore your expenses apart, like write them down for every single penny that goes out. I'm talking even your grocery shopping, everything. Yeah, but there will be a way to chop that in half. Almost definitely there will be a way to chop that in half. Almost definitely.
One thing I wanted to bring up as well, and I think there was some very, very good advice as well. Let me just acknowledge that. Elijah, yeah, you've been on a long journey in life when it comes to like debts and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Uni man.
The uni degree, all the rest, clearing it, all the journey. Fucking hell, mate. Alright, cool. What's wrong? Hey,
That was peak.
who's gonna come over here? Yeah. So as I was saying, I just want to know, like you know what? Let the people know about your story. You know what I mean? You've been on the podcast 3 times. So let them know about the debt story and the lessons you learned from it. Do you know what I mean? I got a story for you as well, Kaleva. Don't worry, yeah. I'll get it out of you, man. But Eli, I just want to hear it. Like, I want the people to know your story on debt, the lessons you learned coming out of debt, and shit that you would like never do again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, a couple of years ago now, I would say. When was it? Probably 2015 times. Kind of goes on before that, but I went uni, got my first degree, so that was all good. And then I wanted to go again to study another subject. Okay, so to do that, you have to take out a student, like an actual real student loan from the bank, not from the government, where you, like, the government one is different, where you pay it off when you start work, and the interest rate is all that stuff there. But this one was from the bank, so it was $9,000. Okay, it was $3,000 a year. So I took that out. Didn't finish the degree. Didn't finish it. I dropped out. Various reasons, which wasn't for me really. But I still had to pay back the money. And at the same time, I was working. At that time, I was working part time, and I was actually. I remember the call like it was yesterday. Because I think I had like some small minor debts back then, maybe like a couple £100, and I remember, I'm not even joking. I was at home on the day that I made my final payment to clear off that debt, that some small credit card debt that I had. I say small, like £500-600. It's considered small to what I actually had. So I paid it off, and I remember my mum, there must have been a message on the house phone. So she was like, "Oh, I've got like there's a message on the house phone." She played the message. So just imagine this. I'm in my room. Hello, yeah. Can I make that final payment? Thank you very much. Cool. I'm in the front room. My mum's like, "Oh yeah, there's a message playing." Play the message. Some lady. "Oh, hello. Yes, I'm trying to get in charge. I'm trying to get a hold of Mr. Williams. Just about you repaying back your student loan debt. Give me a call back on blah 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 number." And I remember, like, I sat there and I was like, I'm not even joking to you. And I know a lot of people.
That's fucking mad.
I know a lot of people will laugh when they hear this, but it was actually true. So I remember I took that loan three years before I got that phone call, and I literally said to myself, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." Like literally, I was literally. That was my reaction. I was like, "Oh yeah." I remember I took out a loan back then. Like it'd been 3 years. I completely like it wasn't even part of my like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like in my vision at all. And it just came back down that day.
Well, that's for £9,000, was it?
Yeah, it was for £9,000. So yes, so it's for £9,000. So how old was I? Like 24. I think like 24, 25. Don't really remember. Mid-20s. I was like, okay, cool. Bam. That was that. So yeah, so I called them up and I was paying the minimum payments. Rule number 1, do not make the minimum payment. That's a death trap. Death trap. You'll be paying that until you're 70. Okay. But I was making minimum payments. And shout out to my younger sister, because my younger sister is very good with money. And I remember that was one day that she literally just had to sit me down. And this was another thing as well. Not only because it was my younger sister, but for the fact that, number 1, I'm a guy as well. So there was a lot of embarrassment about owning up to the debt that I had. Okay. Now, I say that my debt is a bit different because, like, I didn't get into debt because, you know, I went out there and I was buying chocolates and sweets and stuff like that. You know, it's because I wanted to study and it didn't work out and stuff like that. So I can still keep my head up, like, you know, it wasn't like I was looking at like stuff and I was looking at like a lot of material things and I was like, man, like this is what got me into trouble. Like, you know, I tried to better my life and it didn't work. It just didn't work out in that way. So I was still kind of cool about that, but I was still kind of harsh about owning up to the debt. And obviously to my little sister, I didn't really want to own up, you know, to it. But anyway, I had to bite the bullet. She sat me down, went through all the expenses. And I remember it, like, she went through all the expenses and she was like, Elijah, the biggest expense is your car. You know what I mean? Like, you're spending this much on petrol, you know what I mean? This much on insurance, you know, like, this is the biggest expense. And I was like, so, like, what are you saying? She's like, yeah, like, you have to get rid of the car. It took me 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to get rid of that car after that conversation. I remember, like 1 week went and she was like, well, you still haven't got rid of it. I'm like, no, I'm going to get round to it. And literally, the only thing that I was really thinking was like, oh my God, like, everyone knows me for driving around in my car, like, you know, like, how am I going to go to work on foot now? You know what I mean? Like, it's not really that. You know, a lot of people going to be watching me going, boy, like, this guy fell off. You know what I mean? Like what a fall from grace. I saw Eli on Monday, cruised in. You know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean, on Tuesday running for the bus. You know what I mean? Like, it was a bad look. It was a bad look. Oh, so I was worried about that. But in the end, I sold it. And I remember the day I sold it. And a cutter must have called me. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I saw that We Buy Any car in Enfield. And I remember, yeah.
Who picked you up?
No, that was the thing. So you called me, you were like, what, like, have you sold the car? I was like, yeah. And I remember this line, it was just like, I laughed all today. He was like, no, I'm coming to pick you up right now. I said, boss, don't pick me up, I have to feel the pain. I said I have to feel the pain, so I take the journey home, like, you know what I mean, like on the bus. I really have to take that in.
Bruv, that Enfield, bruv, to get to Enfield as well, yeah.
No, it's a
Bruv,
myth.
it's just a myth anyway, fam. I don't even know. You got there. It must have been one bus and then the 34, fam, back to ends.
I don't even know.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I mean? Like, so I had to download like the bus app, all this stuff like that I didn't even know about before. Like, I had to go buy it and all that jazz. Cool. So, like, I got rid of it, and then I was paying £500 a month. Like, so I was literally doing overtime, working. I put my head on, like, I put my head down.
Wasn't
all
that when
stuff.
you worked like 36 days in a row or some shit like that?
Yeah, like, so that was there. I worked. Yeah, it was 32 days or something like that. I worked in a row. And everyone's like, look, Eli, you're crazy. They didn't know what I was dealing with.
Mate, when I say in a row, I'm not talking like man went to work Monday to Friday, but I'm talking 36 days straight. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fam. Back in on Monday, bruv. 32 days.
I remember that.
No, I commend you for that still.
Yeah, so I had to do it, and
But what's going through your head though at that time though? Like, obviously saying people didn't know what I was going through. So
Yeah.
like, what was going through your head?
like, I just got to get out of this because it was crippling. It's crippling. I was like, look, I just got to get out of this. I don't care anymore. Like, I do not care anymore. If I have to, if there's one thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get out of this. There. Now, you know, £9,000. I mean, it depends because while I was at work, I was speaking to other people, and I literally thought that I was the only person in debt. You know, I was looking at other people and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, like these guys are living cool lives, you know, they're doing this. But when you really spoke to them, I mean, I heard some crazy numbers. Like, I heard 12k in debt, I heard 24 grand in debt. And I was like, it made my 9 grand look so small, you know, compared to that. I mean, if I was 24k in debt, boy, I have to go back to Niger or something there, because London, I have to lock it off, you know what I mean? So, you know, but I was just like, look, like, and it was crazy, and the reasons why the people were in debt, you know, it was most of the same things, you know, and a lot of these people were older people, so we're talking like 40 plus, and they got into the debt when they were like in their 20s, like mid to early 20s, and they're still paying it off, you know, voluntarily going on debt, you know, and so on and so forth. So rule number 1, like, don't pay the minimum. Rule number 2, if you can, so I was in a fortunate position that I could work a lot of overtime in my work, and if you can work overtime in your work, I would do it, you know. If your work is fixed, you have no choice but to find another source of income, whether that's a second job or something. You have to find a second source of income, you know.
Or find a way to add more value in the company that you're working
or
in.
find a way to get a promotion. I got a promotion while I was at work, you know, and my base salary got bumped up quite a lot as well, because I was just working, you know, and I was trying to add value to my position. And I would say do that.
Rule 3, expenses.
Write down the expenses, just like what Brandon said. Write down the expenses. Like, literally, you think you know how much money that you're spending. But if I was to say to anyone watching this right now, this week, how much money have you spent to the penny? Could you answer that question? To the penny? No, you couldn't. You know, not a lot of people can. So, you know, definitely get your expenses out and just say, look, this is a waste of money. I spent money here for no reason. You know, that needs to get cut out next month. You know, and also as well, another thing is that set the goal target as well. When is it that you actually want to get out of the debt? You know, actually have an actual month in mind. So like, whether like October 2020, that is when I need to, if I follow these set rules, I can get out by that time. If things happen for me in between, I can get out earlier.
Yeah, you always used to give us some. I remember that whenever you talk to us about your debt, you'd say like, I'll be done by X month. And even though, like, I remember maybe you wouldn't actually be done by October, for example, you'd be closer than you would if you hadn't set that goal.
Yeah, no, so those will just be my tips. And of course, the biggest tip in general is to don't get in it from the beginning, you know. Avoid it, because one thing that I heard is like, just credit is like basically another word for debt. Just imagine you just call yourself, look, I've got this debt card, right? You know, there's $3,000 on this debt card. You know, so replace the word credit with debt, and you'll see yourself. You know, how much money do you have to spend on your debt card? You know, but if you can, try to avoid it. You know, at all costs. You know, and don't get into some big astronomical debt, because it will eat you up inside. Your self-esteem will be low. You won't be feeling yourself. You know. You won't be.
Yeah.
You won't be.
That I agree with so much. I was thinking that earlier when we were talking about stunting and whipshare. Like, you don't feel like all these man that are in whipshare that they can't afford. I'm telling you, they're burning inside, fam. The hellfire is burning, fam, inside of them, bruv. I'm telling you, man.
That's what, yeah. One thing I wanted to say as well, like Eli, man, that was a good advice as well. Kaleva, man, I just wanted to ask you as well something else before we wrap this up. Obviously, you had some difficulties with unemployment and finding a job and stuff like that. So, like, have you got any, like, tell us a bit about the story, and have you got any tips in terms of, like, for people getting a job? Do you know what I mean? There's guys out there who are stuck in the rut. They can't fucking get a job to pay off their debt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, what's your advice for those people, man? Like, you're pro at this stuff.
Just adding to that question, yeah, because one thing you did really well as well, you stayed afloat whilst you were unable to find a job. Like, you looked around you and you worked out, how can I keep the lifestyle that I'm living without a job? And you did it so well. So I would actually like to know as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, basically for like pretty much the whole of last year, I didn't really work in it. Like, I was working as a tailor in London, innit? And I basically lost that job just because, like, I was trying to push through to the next level in my role for a long time, maybe a year, and I didn't get the role, and I became frustrated, and I became like quite negligible, let's just say that, innit? And obviously I had to leave my job, innit? So for like a good maybe like 10 months I didn't work in it, and throughout that time, like, I basically went back to my roots. Yeah, when I was like 16 working, I would literally maybe eat like £1 meals a day and stuff like that. So I was living very frugal in it, and listening to Brandon speak earlier, yeah, a lot of the things that he like advised people to do if they want to live, like, if they want to slash their budget, yeah, that's basically what I also applied to myself as well. Do you know what I mean? And then when there was different occasions like birthdays or different meals and stuff like that, that's when I would then partake in spending money. So I was very like smart with how I would spend my money so that I wasn't to miss out on the social events that mattered to me as well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like, it did appear like I guess I did stay afloat, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it felt. Do you know what I mean? It did appear that way. Well, it's mainly through that as well. Another thing that I did, yeah, that I recommend people to do, yeah, even if you haven't, like, even if you're not really wanting to live frugal or whatever, yeah, is look in your yard, yeah, in your wardrobes and all your possessions, yeah, and sell everything that you don't use, innit? Because, like, there's so much money. Like, I think Gary V, who's another big, like, mentor, shout out Gary V, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said some people, like, have about $5,000 worth of stuff in their houses, yeah, that they don't use, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you were to dig through your closet and put it on eBay, yeah, I'm a massive eBay advocate, innit? Do you know what I mean? I've got a 5-star rating on eBay, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I've been trapping on eBay for years.
eBay called, try and plug it.
Obviously eBay, Kaleva, do you know what I mean? Kaleva with a H, you know what I'm saying? So obviously add me up, follow me, you might find a few gems on there.
Depop coming soon.
On Depop as well, at Kaleva, you know what I'm saying? I'm on Depop as well.
But if you see these pants, yeah, it'll definitely be worth a look, fam.
But yeah, I'll definitely say, like, look into your wardrobe as well. Like, that was another thing that helped me. Like, I think throughout the year I made about $5,000 on eBay, innit? Like, selling bare shit that I didn't use, innit? Didn't need. Music Magpie, I was selling my old Xbox games, DVDs in the house. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, that income also helped me. So, and that made me feel kind of like, that gave me, like, a sense of power as well, because, like, I'm bringing in my own income off my own back through my own work. It's not like I'm employed by someone and they're paying me a check for a job that they've assigned me. I was basically setting my own jobs and selling my own, like, items and making my own money. Do you know what I mean? Managing my own business, basically. Even though it's just eBay, innit? It still is like your own business. Do you know what I'm saying? Like going to the post office, dropping off parcels. Like the postman knows me, innit? He's like, shoes again. Like every time I come in, do you know what I'm saying? Because I'll be like, another thing I would do is like I'll be buying like trainers, reselling them for like 3-4 times the price. Do you know what I mean? Like I struck gold luckily because I got like I got like 4 pairs of off-whites. I won like 4 different raffles.
That's a good hustle as well.
I'm telling you, man, like you got to think about hustles that are available to you. Like, what are you like? Look into yourself and say what you're interested in. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're interested in trainers, like I am, then I use that to my advantage. Like, I resell trainers. Do you know what I mean? Because I know how to access them compared to like just the common guy who isn't really as into them or has been in the game for as long in terms of getting and acquiring sneakers and streetwear pieces. But yeah, that's like one thing that to answer Brandon's question, and then my advice for like. Getting a job and stuff like that. Yeah, this is something that I've had to like. This is advice I've given to lots of people. Do you know what I mean? Because there's even been people that I've been surrounded by in workplaces I've worked where they're part-time there and they finished their uni degree and they want to move into what they studied for. That's their passion, but they've been sending out CVs and not been getting any results. They say like to get like your dream job and stuff like that, yeah, sometimes you have to apply like to maybe 150 to 200 roles, yeah. And I'll say the majority of people that give up on or are very stressed out on a job hunt, yeah, they've maybe applied to like 40 to 50 places, and that is a lot of places to apply to. Go to maybe like maybe 5 interviews, maybe not getting a single interview after handing out 50 CVs or emailing 50 different people, like 50 different companies. You don't get one interview. Do you know how disheartening that is for some people? Yeah, but you've always got to like cliche, find the light at the end of the tunnel. Do you know what I mean? Like visualize yourself in that position that you see yourself in, and know that you have like the ability to get there and that you're worthy of that position. Do you know what I mean? Even though it might feel like you're not going to get there, trust me, you will. Do you know what I mean? And just keep pushing, innit? And that's basically like what I did. And then and another tip I'd say is like, if you're not working at all and you're trying to find a job, so this is for that person, do you know what I mean, who's in debt and is struggling like to that level, do you know what I mean, is take any job you can. Take any job you can. Work in fucking Asda, yeah, work in McDonald's, I don't give a fuck, yeah. That's my advice to you, innit, is work anywhere you can, yeah. Even if your pride goes out the window if you're struggling like that. Do you know what I mean? If you're dead broke, yeah, you don't have no pride, fam. Like, fuck that shit, innit? Just get a job, yeah, because trust me, yeah, when you have a job, it's so much easier to get another job because like it's a mental thing, innit? Yeah, it's a psychological thing. When you go to the interview of the job that you really want, yeah, and you haven't got a job, yeah, not only are you gonna have anxiety because you really want this job, yeah, that's gonna make you nervous, yeah, but you're also gonna have anxiety, yeah, because this job is gonna feed you, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a primal anxiety. That's another level of anxiety, innit? So make sure you're eating first, yeah, before you try and get to like the level, yeah, the next level, innit? Get to the first level first, then you can step to the next one. And that's even what I did, innit? So I took a role that I didn't really want to take, innit, yeah, in one of the lesser department stores in London, innit, yeah, because I work in fashion, and I worked there for about 4 months. But during that whole time, I said, I'm not gonna stay here. Like, I've got the job now, but I'm gonna use this as a springboard to get to the level that I actually want to get to, and I should be at, going off of where I was in my last role. And literally 4 months passed, yeah, and then I moved into the actual role where I saw myself in, and now I'm working in Harrods, which is the #1 department store like in the UK, if not the world. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I'm earning like the money that I should be earning for someone of my level. Do you know what I mean? I'm growing, I'm striving. So that's my advice, man. Trust me, like.
It's tough though, isn't it?
It's tough, isn't it? It's a mental battle. It's all about what's inside of you. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you're gonna like feel like you're not gonna be able to make it, and the world's against you, and you're gonna kind of tap into like the underdog victim kind of mentality. But you've got to really be strong, innit? Do you know what I mean? In yourself, innit? And believe in yourself. Do you know what I mean? Even when the chips are down, because when you make it to the other side, yeah, you're gonna feel like so much joy. You're gonna be grateful. So yeah.
Do you know what?
Having said that, sorry, like, I was going to say, like, even when I first met Kaleva, when we were working together back in the day, that was the place that he said he wanted to work.
Yeah, it is actually weird, yeah.
Which was Harris. So it was weird when he told me that he got the job there. The first thing I was like, oh, finally, like, boy, like, you got that there. But like, I've seen him like strive for that as well. So that was a mini accomplishment, and it just goes to show that you may not get it tomorrow, and yeah, at the same time,
You may not get it next year.
you may not get it next year, and you may have to take some roles in between while you get there. It's very good advice.
Do you know what I'll say? I think this is the longest episode of the podcast we've done so far. I think it's been very, very informative. I thank you very much for joining me for episode number 4. Very good advice as well. And you know what? Like, this podcast is designed to provide you with some insights into our lives as people, and to also empower you as much as we can as well within the stories that we've had. Do you know what I mean? Fair enough, we're not necessarily financially independent fully yet, but we're very well educated in the field, and we're very well experienced in the field. We've been through it all. Do you know what I mean? And at least one of us out of the 4 of us in the car at the moment would have had a sort of situation that a lot of you guys out there can relate to. Do you know what I mean? It might not be me. Elijah might have a story, or Kaleva, or Brandon. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully you gain value from this. If you did, shout the podcast out. Let me know you liked it. Keep it locked for the next episode in a bit.